Give me one.
I know you're rhythmically wonderful.
I can't help it.
You can dance and you can sing, and it's the Krisha and Frank show.
Hi.
I'm the non. You know what? I think I was called beat deaf, and I thought, no one beat me to deafness. I can hear fine. And my dance instructor Emily, you know Emily,
Yeah.
she said, no, you cannot hear the beat. Sit here on this amp and try to.
Oh, you're the clapper on the 1 and 3.
Yep.
That's a you.
So so you clap us in so I can sync up the audio and the video,
Yes.
but you don't want to stop at the one.
No, I don't.
See, I'm perfectly content to clap once.
Right.
And
I
that's
want it
all
to be a song. I want it to be like Hi. You can find us on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to it. Also, we have merch. We like for you to purchase our merch. teespring.com/stores/Krisha and Frank, or just go to krishaandfrank.com and find the merch link. Bingo.
Perch our merch.
Perch our merch.
Thank you. These are nice.
They are.
Tiny
I really
Cinnamon
like them.
bought one.
Yeah.
In fact, she sent us a selfie. Can I show that? And
Thanks,
I think
Tanya.
last week at this time we showed you my friend Bean,
Yes.
who bought the very first Krisha and Frank t-shirt. Would you like to show that again?
And he talked about it on his podcast.
He did, because they decided to also go with Teespring because I think
his
partly
experience
because
was so good with it.
Yeah, they were talking about Krisha and Frank on Bean's podcast, and he said, "Oh no, I know the shirts are good because I bought one from Krisha and Frank."
Yeah, and he was amazed that it got to him in 5 days from the day he ordered it, and that's because Teespring also prints and ships in the UK.
He's in London, yeah.
Yeah.
These were shipped from Kentucky, so I got them really fast.
So really quickly, I went to make tea. Do you remember last week I was talking about tea, but there's only one left, and I really like this tea.
Well, I would love to get you more.
Yeah.
But I remember I made a joke. In fact, the name of the episode was, I bet you that's a 10-year-old tea bag.
Yes, 10-year-old tea bag.
Because it's from Giant Supermarket in the Washington, D.C. area.
It's really good tea.
Landover,
I like it.
Maryland. That's the headquarters of Giant Food up there. Orange, Pico, and Pico Cut Black Tea.
It's so good.
So I brought the box over also to point out that, would you just go ahead and read the sell-by date, and I apologize that you like it. I'm sorry that you like this tea. I don't know why we have it in the house. I can't explain.
I was 26 when this tea should have been sold by from 2006.
The use-by date on this tea is 15 years ago.
It's sell-by. It's not use-by. It's sell-by 3/24/06. There's a very big difference.
Next month, that will be 15 years ago.
Yes, I understand.
15.
But it's sell-by.
15.
There is no use-by date. This is you're supposed to sell it by. Get it out of the store by then.
Clearly, you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's
Well, you
fine.
can have it. You can take it home. You can make it here. You can take it
Thanks.
home. Because I can finally throw out this box. Which we probably on our YouTube performance, if I hold it in such a way, I know you've got the controls of the camera.
Yeah.
Can you focus on? I'll try
I'm
to hold it.
afraid to. I'm afraid if I zoom in on it.
Well, just don't zoom in. Just hit the focus box, and maybe you'll be able to read that.
Yeah, I don't know.
That sell-by date.
Yeah, we're not lying.
Yeah, and then put that back to normal, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh my heavens, that's
2006.
Yeah, I mean that would be, I assume, 2006, right? They didn't have that
06,
kind of
3/24.
computer printing in 1906.
No.
Go here, you can have that, all that. But I have so much tea. I mean, I joke about it because, Bean's podcast is called A Cup of Tea and a Chat, and he loves to have his cup of tea while he does the podcast. I don't like tea.
I love tea.
I don't drink tea. I think there's more tea that we moved some of the,
Oh, wow.
in order to close the pantry door, we
You
took
relocated the
a box
tea.
of some other stuff and put it in that
That's
pantry over there,
that's a lot of tea for people who don't drink tea.
That's why I can't figure out where it came from.
And Jere doesn't drink coffee or tea, correct?
Right, except that she'll get iced tea.
Right.
Mixed with lemonade.
Right.
And she likes, which she buys, in a can or in a bottle or whatever. And she'll go to Starbucks and get a coffee drink every once in a while.
Right.
But doesn't need it.
She's not like you, make a pot of coffee. She's not like me, have a pot of coffee.
to open my eyeballs, yeah.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out if that was her mom's tea that we somehow inherited when her mom died.
Yeah.
Or
But
if...
It's nice to have tea in the home to offer other people when they come over.
Well, I got plenty.
I typically offer people tea more than coffee when they
Would
come
you say
over.
that I have a remarkably...
You have an enormous amount of tea for someone who doesn't drink tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a good selection.
Well, you're the only one ever using it, so the rate of tea bag droppage is...
yeah.
I'm only dropping tea bags once...
Easy.
What?
Easy.
The tea, whatever. Think of another way to say it. Yeah.
You don't have to talk about dropping tea bags now.
Well, I mean, I'm only losing one from the supply.
Right.
I'm not replenishing the supply, but the attrition rate
Right.
is such that it's slow.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The restocking is not
I
something
just
that...
wanted to be careful. I didn't want us to get flagged or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, it certainly could happen.
So I have a question. Maybe not even a question, just an experience. So even before COVID times and COVID land and pandemic times when we have to be socially distant and really not go anywhere, I am now going places. That's my own personal choice. Go to places that I feel safe and I wear a mask and blah, blah, blah.
Well, like an outdoor...
Or very open air places.
Open air places,
yes.
yeah.
So I went somewhere the other day and saw people that I knew.
Knew from before, like pre-pandemic times?
Right, like people that I know.
Oh, in real life. These are people you actually know.
These are people that I know in real life.
Actually know.
And I did not want to interact with them. I went to this place by myself specifically to just go enjoy. A friend of mine was performing. He was singing.
Okay.
And it was his first public outing, and it was like in this kind of outdoory venue. And I passed, and as I walked in, across this very large room, I saw people that I did not want to talk to. I did not want to interact with.
Because you've been avoiding them in real life, or you just weren't in the mood?
Right. This is all real life.
No, I guess what I'm trying to say is, are these people you never want to see again, or are these people who just we've all got acquaintances who, when you see them coming, you just know that it's going to be an energy suck. You know what I mean? There's people who are extroverts and who feed off your energy, but there's other people who just, for whatever reason, it's just draining.
And I may be that to some other people. Like they may like go, oh shoot, I don't want to see that person. That's pretty much how I assume everyone treats me. Like even people who are my friends, I just assume that they're actually not my friends. They just feel sorry for me.
Well,
that's pretty much how I exist.
But don't assume people like you.
Okay, but I saw these people, and it's not that I don't ever they're not friends. They're people that I know.
Okay.
That know me.
Well, I mean, you've been around. No, I mean, you know what I mean. You've been on stage.
Right.
You've been active
media,
in the community.
Right.
You've had jobs. You've had 9-to-5 jobs.
Right. It's just like you. There's tons of acquaintances that you have, and you could run into anybody at any time.
And I normally do.
Right.
I mean, especially if, absolutely. In fact, that's what I hate about pandemic times is I don't see people.
You're not running into people. And when you do, you run into people that don't really know you, and you scare them in a grocery store.
So what, all right, so that here's the perfect example, is I see somebody.
Well, I haven't even gotten to my point yet.
But I was the drain. They weren't trying to avoid me. So it was all flipped.
Right.
I'm the people. Oh, I'm the person they try to avoid.
No, that's not true.
Okay.
But I walked in and I saw these people. I was like, oh crap, I don't like. And so I tried to I had my mask on. I was trying to low key it, and the way that this place was set up, where they were sitting, the way that it was pandemic safe set up was there was one way. There was one way you could go, and at the very end of the trail were where these people were sitting. I had no other choice. And
I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, but I have known people who, when they go to, I don't know, like Holly's Gourmet's Market, especially, well, I can't say what type of job they have, but they would deliberately sit facing the door.
Yep.
Because they want to get recognized as people walk in.
Oh.
All right?
Okay.
There's a strategy. If you, unfortunately, I've been guilty of this when we're sitting in a restaurant. You're supposed to, etiquette-wise, give the lady the better seat.
Right.
With the view of the room. But I always, Jere doesn't necessarily care about that. She knows
Maybe
that.
she does.
Well, I've
you
been
bird
through
dog
this.
it.
I've been, I like to see the room. It's like if you're in the mafia, you always want to have your back to the wall.
Well, actually, I watched a whole thing on feng shui, and it was talking about if you're going to a Starbucks or somewhere to work, that is actually the corner back of the room, facing the room, is actually the best place for you to work, because you can focus on your computer, but you are also able to be aware of your environment. Yeah. Because
if you were like in many offices where they point you at the wall and you're constantly worried about what's happening behind you.
My desk in one specific place was all windows behind me, and I worked at 4:00 in the morning, and I hated it. I hated it.
You know, because then some people they used to sell rear view mirrors for your desktop computer
How
because
sad is that?
so many cubicles and offices are poorly designed that all you do is freak out about what's happening behind you.
Here's my question. This is where we're coming to my question. Do you, if you do not want to interact with these people, do you run the risk of them seeing you avoiding them, or do you run the risk of saying a quick hello and peacing out? Now, I'm asking this in, right now we're in a weird social place where it would be easy for me to be like, hey, how's it going? Hey, because we're socially distant, and it would be easy for me to not, and I'm talking about just in general, what's your choice? What is Frank's choice?
So I'll try to put myself in the mindset of the person who's sitting at this restaurant. Is it a restaurant or is it more of
It was a brewery.
Right. So it's kind of like a combination venue / bar, except because it's more spread out and you're sitting there.
Right.
And somebody comes in that I know and that I like.
I'll just say, if you've ever been to Highwire Brewing locally,
I have
it's
not,
it's very, it's a warehouse. It's
I can
open.
imagine it. Yeah, because a lot of them are designed that way on
Right.
purpose. Okay. So if I'm sitting there and someone comes in whom I like and is alone, and I say, hey, why don't you sit with us?
Oh, yeah.
They might say, I would run the risk of them saying no. And I might be worried about that. You know, I can't handle rejection.
Right.
So I probably would not ask. I would maybe make it clear that you could sit if you wanted.
But if you see them and you see them intentionally avoiding you, like if you spot somebody, you're like, oh, I know this person. And you see them and you see them seeing you, and then they intentionally walk in a different direction, or they walk past you without saying hello.
Oh, wow.
Right. Do you, like, as me, do I run the risk of just walking on and doing my own thing, or do I run the risk of getting into a conversation with people that I don't want to get into a conversation with?
Yeah, you kind of have to have the middle. You have to have the little short.
Hey, good to see you.
A little longer than that. Hey, it's great to see you. I hope you're doing well. You know, I'm gonna maybe I'll.
I mean, it was clearly they're alone, and I'm so content. Like, I was kind of seeing somebody who thought I was not content to just be, but go do things by myself, and always tried to compensate for that.
They should watch the show. How many episodes have we devoted to the fact that you're now in a place in your life where you're comfortable?
But I've always been that way.
Oh, okay.
I've even married in a relationship. I've always been like, I'm going downtown. I'm gonna go eat. I love eating by myself and doing things by myself.
Really?
Always. Yeah.
Wow. All right.
I've always been that way. That's how I met James. I met James because I was going to theater by myself and seeing shows.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I am having a hard time dealing with it. Yes, of course I do things by myself, but to me they're just like, well, this is the uninteresting part of my day.
No.
I don't need to be alone. I would prefer to talk to somebody.
Yeah, no. But it was clear that I was alone, and I did what I thought was the right thing. I said hello. I was like, yeah,
yes,
how are you?
Of course you would.
And the immediate question, are you alone? And I was like,
not yet.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go sit right over here. Actually, I see an open seat. And so I scooted off. 20 minutes later, individuals came to join me at my table alone and ended up in a conversation. Yeah.
You know, maybe a way out of that conversation would be to say, what are your thoughts on human decomposition?
Bonezones.com.
Would that have helped?
I do. I have one more thing to add to that.
Okay. Go ahead.
But
do it now.
Do it now. Do it now?
Yeah.
I have no problem if I am in a situation, let's say I am at a coffee shop, or I am at where I was. If I'm at Highwire, having a beer, enjoying my time, just doing my own thing, and someone comes up whom I know and talks to me, I have no problem saying, hey, I'm kind of here for my alone time, and I'm really just enjoying doing my thing. Been really nice talking to you, but I'm going to go back to enjoying my time now. I have no problem doing that.
Wow.
Because because that's like it's an ability to set a boundary. And
But
like
just the phrase, I'm talking to you, but now I'm going to go back to enjoying myself because I'm clearly not enjoying myself talking to you.
okay, maybe I wouldn't say that, but I'm going to enjoy my alone time now. I'm going to enjoy the time with myself now.
Wow.
Because
I could see how that would sting.
put it in the mind of, let's say you see a couple having dinner. Would you go over and insert yourself into that and ask to sit down and say hello?
No. If it was people I knew, I would probably say hello, but you do it in a way that it's...
To say, I don't want to interrupt.
Yeah, you can say hi, and...
What's the difference?
And see if they engage.
And my question to you is, what's the difference?
The initial person should have given, should have like cast a line, if you will, and you could have like looked, said, "Oh, hi, I see that you can't," but I'm not going to nibble. I'm not going to take a bite.
Right.
I'm not going to.
Right, but you would not have a problem with a couple that if you were telling us like, we're going to get back to our dinner, that would not offend you. That would not.
Right.
Right. What's the difference if it's somebody just by themselves enjoying doing the exact same thing just without a partner? Like, what's the difference? There's not.
There's not.
Right.
But I can. So what I'm taking from this is don't interrupt people who are alone.
I mean, maybe some people aren't okay being alone.
Because I'm the problem person in this equation. I'm not. If I'm sitting there and somebody, like I go to Starbucks and I run into John Purifoy, who's a composer, right? Okay. I know that I've just added 15 minutes to my time because he's going to want to talk about something. Mm-hmm. Hey, did you hear that on WOT? Oh, that guy was on the...
But at times you want to get into that conversation.
I know that if I go to Starbucks, I'm probably going to run into Purifoy, and I'm probably going to end up in a conversation.
Yeah, but to me, like I don't know. It's the same. I don't know. It's just interesting to me that we can view like if two people are having a nice dinner or having a beer together, that you wouldn't automatically assume that it would be okay just to go.
Because in my mind, you would stay home or take it to go, which doesn't seem fair to you.
Yes, because if you don't have someone to share it with, by all means, shutter yourself away. By all means. Me and my cats, just me and my pie. Right.
I mean, see, if you're at there are places at the Starbucks where it's obviously a solo seat at the bench, and you're not inviting company. But if is this a table, a tube top?
I was at a four top. Yep. I was at a barrel with
you're lucky
three other seats.
You're lucky that three people didn't come over to join you.
I actually offered two of the chairs to two other people who were two girls that were there.
Take the chairs.
They're like, "Are you using these?" I'm like, "No."
Absolutely not.
But like, so content. There's nothing missing in my life.
No, I
Me
understand.
having a beer, listening to music, chilling, watching all of these people be people.
I understand. I mean, you're at a social event, except that it's pandemic times. And some people maybe have a hard time.
But even pre-pandemic, like even pre-socially distant times, I went places by myself, content being by myself.
Because to me, the only excuse that you could get away with, to me, I would understand it if you said, I don't want to talk to people because of the pandemic.
We gotta talk about bone zones. Really quickly.
Wow, my mind is blown because I can't imagine. All I can think of is...
We even had more topics, and now we're just here.
I'm the one who's going to make the mistake, and I'm terrified of making mistakes.
Bonezones.com, don't forget the S. If you would like to grab some books.
Good thing I filled this up. I'm going to drink.
Perhaps when you would like to have some alone time and go to dinner on half-price sushi night at Nama, and you would like to take a book with you, you can get one of Dr. Bass's books at bonezones.com. Don't forget the S.
Have them autograph it.
Yeah.
Dr. Bass will do that, the Jefferson Bass series. You also can get merchandise like the cups, like the hats, the challenge coins, the T-shirts.
The
tote bags.
Yeah, it's so fascinating to me. All of his books are fascinating, his fiction and nonfiction.
Yeah, it's all and set. Most of the stories are set in East Tennessee. There's one that's set in Florida, one that's set in Europe, but many of them really paint a wonderful picture of that local flavor.
Yeah, and it names local places. So if you're local,
Yeah.
or even if you're not local, it's kind of cool, like, knowing exactly where he's talking about.
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
can pull it up on Google Maps and go, oh, wow, that is remarkably accurate.
And bonezones.com is also where you can find when lectures are able to happen again and you would like to go talk to Frank and interrupt his alone time. You can go.
Please,
you
please do.
You can go find that at bonezones.com. Don't forget the S.
That's part of the fun for me is I get to talk to
So,
people.
okay, but here's like
Take another drink.
just to continue at this point, because we're blown out everything else, because it's fascinating to me that when I was 23 living in Orlando,
When those tea bags were new.
when those tea bags were new, probably before they were on the shelves, but when I'm 23 living in Orlando, I went to theater festivals by myself. I traveled by myself. I did lots of things alone. When I was married, James and I would have I would work and I would go work all those events by myself.
But see,
That's different. But I would say, hey, I'm going to go to the movies. And he'd say, okay. And I would go to a movie by myself.
Okay, I think it's weird when Jere goes to the movie by herself.
No, why?
Well, sorry, Jere, but she wouldn't tell me.
Oh, yeah.
She would just go and never mention it. And then weeks later, I'd be, oh, do you want to see such and such movie? And she either would say nothing and go see it again,
Oh, my gosh.
or she would fess up and say, well, I saw it by myself.
But
I don't think I have ever, that I can recall, gone to a movie by myself.
Have you taken yourself to dinner alone?
I mean, does the fast food count?
No, I'm saying
No.
had a Bonefish gift certificate
Well, clearly,
and said, I'm going to go take myself to Bonefish.
I obviously at some points in my life have gone to dinner alone, but not because I wanted to be alone.
Okay.
I went to dinner alone because I didn't have anybody to go with, and maybe I was traveling, maybe I was in another city, and sometimes when you're at a convention or any of those types of scenarios, it's much easier to just go eat because you have to eat than it is to try to round up a group to all go get buffalo burgers
such
or
a
bison
pain.
burgers, whatever it is,
Yeah.
at the cool restaurant around the corner.
I mean,
you
I'm
know.
not saying I don't enjoy doing things with other people, 100%, but I also very much enjoy doing things alone. It's like you and I talking about possibly going up to the barn, and we were talking about kind of travel arrangements and how it would work.
Yeah,
I was
I'm like,
like, I could go spend a couple nights in DC and putter around
And I
DC by
said,
myself.
by yourself?
Yeah.
And you said, yeah, you just dropped me off at the West Falls Church Metro.
And I'll hop on and I'll see you in a couple days.
And I'm like, but.
Do you think that
But what
I'm
about
gonna
Artie's
go?
birthday party?
Do you think I'm gonna go check into an Airbnb, order food to go, and sit there in an Airbnb by myself and be like,
No, obviously you would go. I mean, if it were me, and I were going, I don't know why I would go to Washington D.C. of all places alone because
right?
I've
Let's
got
say
so.
just happenstance you had some time to kill.
I have so many family. Most of my family lives near Washington D.C., so I couldn't be alone if I wanted to.
Right.
But if it worked out, they all were doing something else, or somehow it worked out. I could see myself going to a museum alone. But you know what would happen?
You would text somebody the whole time?
No.
Or no?
Not at all. Wouldn't
No.
even look at my
You would
phone.
see somebody you knew?
And not even. Well, not yet. Didn't meet him. Didn't know him yet.
Oh, that's what would you. But that's the charm I love.
But I'm the person that you are trying to avoid. I'm the person who will strike up a conversation with a stranger.
I will strike up conversations with strangers. I did that when I went to the
But what's
Dolly
wrong with
Museum.
the people at the bar? But you didn't want to talk to them because they weren't
They
strangers?
weren't strangers. I did not want to have conversation with them.
With them specifically.
Specifically.
So if they had been someone else.
If they had been strangers and they said, hey, how are you? How's your night going? I'd have been like, great. How's yours? What beer are you drinking?
So it's really just about them.
That particular question, yes. How do you avoid people that you know but you don't want to interact with?
Wow. I mean, you either have to suck it up and interact with them, or you have to leave.
Or you have to intentionally avoid them and then directly say to their face,
I don't want to talk to
I
you.
don't want to talk to you.
Wow.
In a very nice way, which
Is
is
there-
which is exactly what I did.
So I'm the guy.
Okay.
Hello.
Don't assume it's a guy. Don't.
I'm the girl.
Let's not assume.
I'm the person.
Now that you know who, you know behind the scenes, he knows who it was. But let's say you see me coming down this alleyway. It's one way, and I can only come towards you. We make eye contact, and I go, "Hey," and then I go and I sit down. You then decide, I'm going to go say hey to this person. Like, I'm going to go catch up with them. And you walk over and you pull out a chair where I'm sitting and you sit down across-ish from me. And you're like, well, hey, how are things? How are things going? And I'm like, good, they're really good. I'm actually here enjoying a friend's music. Good, it's good to see you. So how is this and this? And what is this and this? And I'm like, oh, everything's going really well. But actually, I want to get back to listening to my friend's music. This is the first time I've been able to see them and enjoy them. And I'm just kind of really enjoying listening to music. Oh, well, okay. Sorry.
The music isn't out. You could say, I'm here. Do you like this band? And just keep talking.
Anything isn't out.
Keep talking about the band. Say, I'm here to hear the band.
I've got horrible gas. I have forgotten how to socialize.
No, but you can't have a conversation if you're listening to the band.
Right.
That's the reason
I
you're
would,
there.
if there were not music there, I would have said, I would have said, it's going really well, but I'm really enjoying just kind of my alone time right now. I'm just want to chill. And
you know when sometimes I go to
see you.
You know when I sometimes go to something alone?
What?
I'm sort of alone, but I'm in the audience, and Jere would be up on stage singing with the Choral Society. No one is going to start talking to me in the middle of a concert.
Right.
You're at a concert.
Right.
Sort of.
Intermission.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I'm all about intermission.
Oh, I know you are. I've sat next to you during a concert.
I love
and
intermission.
Then not had a single part of a conversation with you during intermission because it was helicopter Frank.
You got to work the whole room.
You Frank it to 11.
A lot of room. A lot of people. This is pre-pandemic times.
That's my challenge to you.
There's over 1,000 people in that Tennessee theater.
My challenge to you is to take yourself out on a date alone.
I don't like myself that much.
I know.
I spend enough time alone now since things have changed. Since the seismic shift,
yes,
I spend enough time alone here in the house. And you know why I enjoy editing the shows so much?
Because it gives you something to do?
No, because I have company.
Oh, God.
You know who the company is? It's us.
One of those days, you should just go and take yourself to lunch.
Why?
And put your phone down and just eat.
But I do that here in the kitchen. I
Yeah.
make myself lunch and
that's my challenge to you, because I would like to hear about your experience.
It'd be terribly boring. I can already describe the time I had Arby's money on a gift card, and I went there and I got the sandwich that had the turkey and cranberry sandwich during holiday times. And you either, if the restaurant's open, you sit there and you eat it, and there's probably usually only one other person in the restaurant, and then you leave. It's not much fun. I don't like it. I can't touch my phone. I have to put my phone away because I don't want to get my greasy fingers on it. So I don't use my phone when I'm eating. I have to wash my hands before I can use the phone.
This has been one of our longest episodes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We should stop.
We should. Because this is it's absolutely mind-boggling to me, and it's mind-boggling to you. And we've hit a point where we're going, I don't understand you, and I don't understand you.
I can't do what you do.
Typically, we can at least understand each other's. No. And you're just like, I can't. And I'm just like, I can't. I just love this. Like,
please come talk to me.
If you're alone, why aren't you getting to go? Because alone people enjoy time outside too.
But you're hanging out with the not alone people. You went to a place where the unalones. All right. Yeah. You're right. We're at a stalemate. We're at a stalemate because I so desperately love you coming over here to do the show because I'm
a hugely social person, and that's why I like going to social environments, but I can go on my own terms, and I can just...
don't interrupt.
Well, no, I can talk to people if I want to. I can not talk to people if I like.
But if they are that person, if they decide that they want to be alone or they want to talk to you, what if they're in that?
The example that I gave you was very specific. I did not want, this was someone I knew, and I did not want to.
But they, on the other side of the coin, are in a situation where they see someone they like and haven't seen in a while and are interested in catching up.
That's cool.
except that you don't want to talk to them.
Well, I did. I cordially
Yeah.
spoke to
Well-
them for a good 2 minutes, and then I went back to doing what I was doing.
And they should take a hint. Because also, I mean, if you don't just walk up to a single lady in a place and start not hitting on her, but strike up a conversation. You have to be prepared for the talk to the hand at some point, or the just I'm not here to talk to you.
Right.
Scoot.
I mean, I will talk to anyone. I have made friends because I have just talked to people. I'm very much, but I don't mind doing it out by myself alone. If I go out intentionally alone, I don't mind having a conversation with random people.
Strangers.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't mind having conversation with people that I know. It was specific to these people that I didn't want to talk to.
Okay.
But I have no problem not talking to them.
All right.
Have you
Wow.
ever been to a movie by yourself?
I can't remember. Well, Animal House. I took my mom's car and went to see Animal House on opening day. I didn't tell her. And then like 2 months later, she's like, I've been reading about this terrible movie. Be sure not to go see it
That's the last movie you went to alone was Animal House.
on opening day. Now, there must be another one, probably.
I
can't
love that Jere Sneaky goes to movies by herself. I
Well-
love that. I like her even more now.
Yeah, because
I'm here for it.
I might be busy.
We gotta go.
All right. Well, at least one thing came out good out of this.
What?
When we sell the commercials, I sell them as mid-roll halfway through the show.
Well, we got it midway. Sorry about the length of today.
Well, but, you can turn it off 20 minutes ago for all we care.
Just hit subscribe. We don't give a crap how much you
All right. So thanks a lot for all the things. We'll just wrap it
Yeah.
and say check out KrishaandFrank.com. And we appreciate you.
Yeah. Later, Gators.